What is up, Dingles Crypto? So today we're going to be talking about Energy Web, Energy Web's blockchain, their token, their toolkits, and their enterprise adoption possibilities, as well as partnerships. And at the very end, I'm going to get into the price prediction that I have made on the token, right? So let's just jump right into it. Let's just state some quick facts. $200 million market cap, 30 million circulating supply, 100 million total supply. 30% of it is in 33% is in a community fund, and 10% is in a vested schedule for the token capital investors or VCs, and they get released this June, so keep that in mind. And let's talk about exactly what they're trying to do. So they're trying to make a customer-centric electricity system by enabling any energy asset owned by any customer to participate in any energy market. So what is an energy asset? It's basically just a battery that can store energy or something that can produce energy, whether that is solar panels, or wind turbine. You hook it up to the grid, it produces power, you get therefore paid for it. If you have a battery, you hook that up to the grid, you can store energy, therefore get paid for it. And that is creating a market that Energy Web is trying to make via blockchain technology, right? So what is their Energy Web decentralized operating system? And this is what they're building on, and like kind of similar to Web 3.0, where the base layer is a smart contract blockchain, and then therefore like module things are built, module applications are built that things can be built off of that. And that's kind of what they're doing here. They have the trusted layer, which is obviously the blockchain, and they're then very module applications are built on this blockchain, and then their toolkits are built on top of it. One thing I do want to point out right now, the Energy Web token is just used for gas and some applications, but I do think you could see maybe kind of a similar style as Unibright, in which their toolkit's only accessible by holding Energy Web tokens. So you would have to hold Energy Web to access their toolkits. So maybe you will see that in the future. So the trust layer, which is their blockchain, the utility layer, which is the middleware, and just very module applications that can be used in a lot of different directions and built on. The toolkit layer, which is basically just helping, which provides open source templates to speed the development of applications, to kind of expedite applications building for enterprises, as well as maybe just individual developers if they want to do that. So let's talk about their two toolkits. The first one is Flex, and this helps grid operators to tap into the vast and growing pool of customer-owned and sited assets, such as solar panels, large batteries. I mean, believe it or not, a lot of people do have large batteries sitting around, maybe in the future, in terms of car batteries, in terms of electric cars. So keep that in mind. Or you possibly could buy an affordable battery and help your community store energy. So let's talk about why it's called Flex, because Flex does mean something. It's called because
use of flexibility,
let's just listen,
including to provide frequency regulation, alleviate congestion on distribution feeders, or meet any other requirement for more or less load on the system.
So one thing I do like to kind of make an analogy of is kind of if you have a water tower in your city, do you know what that water tower is used for? It's basically to level out demand versus supply of water needs. So a water pump, your city's water pump is pumping water to that water tower constantly, and basically there's a different demand of water during the day or seasonal. So in the morning, there's probably more demand for water than in the middle of the night, right? And based off of that, whether your water tower gets filled with water or gets drained of water is based off of that demand of your city's water demand. And that's what they're trying to do with batteries, is basically if you own a battery, you can hook up to the grid and therefore store energy and then get compensated for storing energy, as well as if you produce energy, you can get compensated for that instead of taking whatever the regulated monopoly utility company gives you. Like, so if you produce energy right now, the government regulated monopoly basically buys that energy at whatever price they give you because you really don't have any other option. But with this, you can have an open marketplace and you can get fair value for your energy. And let's go into Origin, which is their other toolkit. This I don't necessarily see much utility for other than regulatory issues, such as, I bet you, I mean, there's countries coming out now that you only are allowed to use clean energy and X, Y, and Z. So I would not be surprised that for Origin to play a role in proving that your energy came from a renewable source. So you produce a verifiable certificate on the blockchain for your energy that you produce, and therefore you can prove that your energy was produced in a renewable manner. And then you sell their certificate along with the energy that you produced, I believe, and therefore proving that your energy was renewable and clean. So I'm not going to play that video. You can become a member, and if you want to right now, and participate in their UI as well as their marketplace. We could go back and just talk about their marketplace real quick.
Now let us look at our other category of user, one that requests flexibility, sends an offer to the Flex system, takes these parameters, and
so right here, he's basically offering storage via battery for the grid, right? So, and you should get compensated for storing that energy.
Sends an offer to the Flex system. Now let us look at our other category of user, one that requests flexibility. This type of user might want to do a few things beyond only requesting flexibility. First, if that user is a grid operator, it might want to see what assets are connected to its portion of the grid. Here, we can see an example of 4 batteries registered to different prosumers. We can be very precise with how much information is appropriate for that user to view. Perhaps it's the brand and model numbers of the batteries and where on the grid those are located, but not the names of their owners. Did properly. This proof of concept.
So basically, there's the grid owners picking the lowest price to store their energy, and therefore becoming more efficient, right? So you can upload your battery and what you want to get for storing energy, and then you get paid for doing so. And that is that. And then we just discussed Origin. You can participate in this. Just join today. Go ahead and participate. They're looking for all of these to participate. So there you go. Energy Web validator nodes. A lot of their big partners are nodes. And then their CEO is from the Netherlands, and he has a significant amount of valuable connections within the energy space. And I mean, he's a very experienced guy. One of the things that came up in 2017 a lot is a lot of peer-to-peer marketplace energy tokens and blockchains and X, Y, and Z, but a lot of them didn't have. One of the keys to being successful in this space is partnerships and toolkits, right? And enterprise adoption. And the way to do that is physically to go present them the benefits of becoming part of this marketplace. And that's exactly what Energy Web did, and they've had a significant amount of adoption. And this is their CEO and CCO, and he was basically just discussing why he believes Energy Web could be in the top 10 market cap. The renewable energy market right now is around $1.7 trillion. So, I mean, hopefully they can take some of that share. $1.7 trillion isn't, to be honest, that's not a large goal to achieve via blockchain. I mean, there's a lot of blockchains that have a bigger market. In my point of view, obviously it could get bigger in the future because renewables are a growing industry as well, right? So our ecosystem, there's all the partners. I want to point out a couple. Eon has connections with Tesla. GE obviously is a huge industry. PG&E huge grid operator. Shell Energy, a lot of just huge companies. So keep that in mind. And now let's talk about Tesla, because it just makes sense, right? It just makes sense for Tesla to integrate with some type of energy blockchain project, and EWT is the premier energy project building on the blockchain with premier toolkits. So imagine being able to store energy and get compensated for storing energy in your Tesla battery, or getting wholesale electricity for your grid by having solar panel tiles, like Tesla is producing his solar panel tiles. And let's talk about the Berlin Gigafactory. If you don't know what a Gigafactory is, it's kind of a water tower but for energy. And that's exactly what they're trying to do, is make a big battery, so when demand goes up in electricity, the battery can be drained to meet that demand, and then when the demand is low, they can refill the battery. It's just the water tower for electricity, right? So, and they will definitely implement some type of blockchain technology to implement a marketplace for energy. And if I really do hope that kind of cleared the air on what Energy Web is trying to do. If you have any questions whatsoever, please put them in the comments, or if you have a better explanation than what I tried to do here. This was a very complicated project, a lot of things going on, a lot of developer talk that I kind of goes over my head sometime, I will be honest, but I did my best to explain this to you, and I do believe it has a lot of growth in the future, and we'll get in that right now with my price prediction. Energy Web just restating their mission statement with by enabling any energy asset owned by any customer to participate in any energy market. Renewable energy plus blockchain is kind of like the biggest growth sectors of the next 10 years put together into one. One thing I want to point out, this is still a lot of speculation, because first of all, renewable energy still has a lot of area to grow to be where it needs to be, even though right now it's kind of ahead of the game, ahead of petroleum energy costs, as well as a lot of other costs to produce these other traditional energy sources. So let's go into the utility of the token. Gas on the Energy Web token, Energy Web chain, EWT necessary for the toolkits. Even though they have not implemented this yet, I could see this happening, because this is what Unibright did for their enterprise toolkits, is to require their token to access their toolkit. And I could see somebody like EWT doing that as well. They're blockchain agnostic, which is a positive. That's not much of a utility, but that is a positive because they're not reliant on one blockchain to succeed. Polkadot, EWT, Parachain, and Chainlink. This is not a utility. I just want to point this out because Polkadot is going to be huge, and their interoperability and security that they're providing for all their parachains will help a lot. And Chainlink is obviously off-chain data coming onto the blockchain, which is essential, and big partnerships there. DAO governance over community fund, 33% of token supply. So they do have a community fund that will probably be DAO governed, even though they have not announced that. I feel like that is the obvious choice to go with, is a decentralized autonomous organization to govern their community fund, which is taken off of a percentage. So every transaction that happens on the Energy Web blockchain gets put into the community fund for X, Y, and Z, future growth, whatever they need in the future. They would have to get through the DAO governed protocol to get their community fund released and used to do whatever they want to do, right? So let's talk about my price prediction. This is almost impossible to predict because you kind of don't have comparables. You don't have comparables. So if there's Tesla integration, such as in their gigafactories or in their Tesla, or in just their solar panels, or just Tesla adoption in general, you definitely could see that. Batteries are a huge part of what Energy Web wants to be, is a free marketplace for batteries and energy producers and grid operators. So that's kind of what they're trying to be, and they seem like a perfect match. And market cap 1 to 10 billion is, I could see that very realistically as $1 to $10 billion market cap. If they were a 5 billion with 50 million circulating, it would be $100. So I think $100 is realistic in 2021, early 2022, especially if Tesla comes out to announce some type of partnership. And we'll see. So if you enjoyed this content, this took me a long time to make sure you like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. More exciting content to come out in the future. I try to get in depth with these as much as I can. Hopefully you learned a little bit today. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions whatsoever, I have a Discord and a Telegram in my bio. Click it. I talk to everybody in the Telegram and Discord chat. That is all for today. Thanks for watching, and dingle dingle. Peace out.